Hello and welcome back to the channel. 2023, this is my first post of the year, and you may, if you've been here before, you may recognize the vehicle behind me. This is the WhiteDetails BMW support vehicle, the third and final installment for this car's documentation for YouTube. The first episode for the car was the introduction of the vehicle, the inspection, a wash decontamination process, and some polishing to the front end. Episode 2 was the installation and application of Suntech Reaction PPF paint protection film, protection against impact, road chips, rock chips, stone chips, scratches, abrasions and damage. And then moving forward into this third and final installment, this is going to be concentrating on the rest of the bodywork, the exposed body panels that haven't got film. So we're going to be doing a 2-stage paint correction with Modesta BCO4 ceramic protection for the paint, BCO6 for the rims and calipers. So that and a whole lot more coming up in this episode of WhiteDetails. So hello, welcome back to the channel. It's been a while, it's good to be back. It has been a few months now since the last update. And before we get into the process for this episode, we're going to just do a quick catch up before we do the wash and reverse back to the start of this job. So my last episode was the yellow Urus, the Lamborghini Urus, the full body PPF. I was working through to the very end of Christmas, the new year. I then took a couple of weeks off into early January, but moving forward into 2023. The industry as a whole, some people are seeming to be okay, but as a whole things are quite steady. Hence, I found the time to do 3.5 days on my own car again. Obviously it is a quiet time of the year for detailing and having your car perfected and polished and protected, but this time of year normally I am into March. By sort of like New Year, I'm fully booked to the end of Feb, March time. But that is not the case. This year the diary is pretty quiet. So if you are looking to have a car pampered by your local detailer or myself, be sure to reach out. I understand times currently, certainly here in the UK, things are a little bit uncertain, I guess, feeling the pinch of the economy and the cost of living crisis and everything else going on. So it's good to be busy. That said, I had to have the best part of half a week off with a bad back. I was horizontal for the most part, and I can still feel. I've had the twinge now for the best part of 3 months, and I've been poked and prodded and massaged by special people, and I'm hoping it's gone sooner rather than later. So there's that as well. Getting old. In the minute, all that's left for the car is the coatings, pretty much, which is the most part of tomorrow. So you've got that to look forward to later in this episode, but for now, let's jump back to the start the wash, and I'll see you back in here shortly. So then, inside, dry, blown off, decontaminated. The focus of this session is going to be paint correcting the doors, the rear quarter, up and over the top, the roof, rear bumper, the tail lights. Eagle-eyed among you may have seen the tail lights have been swapped out. I much prefer these. These are the clean, original OEM standard lights. Just before Christmas, I did a deal with a follower, I believe, saw me through the channel, realised I wanted to do a swap. They had these lights, I had the black M Performance black line lights. Did a swap in Long Eaton Asda car park, which is fun. So much happier about that. Paint correct the tailgate, bumper, all the way down that side, spoiler roof, and thinking about what I'm going to do to the side skirts. Hello. We'll come back onto that later, buffer trails there. As well as that, a general go over the rest of the car, checking the PPF areas from whenever it was beforehand. Headlights, bonnet, bumper, wings, door, wing mirrors, A-pillar, partial roof, gloss B-pillars, little section here. I do want to do the side skirts tonight or tomorrow. Don't know why I didn't do them in the first place, really. Not only for the protection against stone chips, but it is quite a low slung vehicle. I had a car full a few weeks ago, and helping the passengers out of the car, I noticed there were lots of heels going bang, bang, as careful as people may be. Lots of contact was made down there. So a membrane, a protection, a film will be very well received there, I'm sure. Certainly looking super glossy, I have to say. Right, torch, coffee, One of the main problem areas and one of the most unsightly areas on the car thus far, and what I see every time I pull up into a petrol station forecourt, is the roof. The roof, I think I pointed it out in episode 1, the inspection. There's what looks like overspray. Overspray or just a very mottled, etched finish. What I've seen so far, this vehicle hasn't had any paint. Hard to see in the colour, but there's a couple of nice scratches. Back end of the spoiler here. Okay, so PPF, no PPF. Plenty of marks there to tackle. I have been over the film with a very, very light clay bar because I'm going to coat this. When I coat the rest of the vehicle, I want to put a coating on the PPF as well, so that'll be prepped a little more later. Ooh, didn't know they were there. Something's caught the leading edge of the door. I don't think will be polishing out in a hurry. Deeper scratch. Had a glimpse of this area already. Underneath the filler cap, there are buffer trails, rotary mopping marks, buffing marks, where somebody's had a blast over the panel. New lights, swirly, not a problem. They can be swirly and scratched. They can be rectified and brought back up to new. When light clusters are corrected, they really do have a nice clarity and crispness to them. Ooh, can you hear the rain coming down outside? Pretty heavy. Lots of going on down here, the corner of the bumper. Difficult to see with the light this way. But do this, top down. Some deeper marks on the corner. Now this, the bumper strip, I think I'm going to leave it because if I pull it off, I'm going to be upset with what it's hiding underneath. I think it's been put on too late and there's a lot of damage there in the first place, which is why that's now been put on. If you look here, they aren't light scratches. Some of that stuff there is deep scores. Them two there look to me like it's a blunt nail, a dog claws getting into the back. The previous owner had a dog. So really the bumper wants painting. Probably should have organised that and had that done by now. But it is what it is. Work around that. Under certain lights you can just about see the lettering from the badge 335 duh. That needs sorting. Oh, that top of the light cluster, that little cluster there looked a lot like lacquer overspray. Can't see any more. Perhaps the donor vehicle that these lights came off, perhaps that car has had some paint. There's a lot of damage there, lots of room for improvement. Mineral grey, the same colour as my last touring. Difficult to capture the defects, but they are certainly there and they certainly let the finish down. The overall result, more deeper scratches at the bottom of near side rear door. And then we're back to the front doors, which is PPF, no PPF. Looking over the gloss pillars now, PPF is there to protect, as they're very soft, they mark easily and they scratch. PPF has the added benefit of being self-healing. So passengers, it's a common thing for people to close the door with the pillar. The contact will leave marks, and it has. Marring seen, bad contact, and even from being picked up during the wash phase. You think, oh no, Christ, here we go again. But watch this. Okay, this is difficult to do whilst operating the camera, but we'll give it a go. Quick blast of heat. Or a sunny day. I think that's the Lock John look. Wonderful. Good. polishing wise, we're progressing rather well. Just got the rear bumper now to correct. Some of the worst areas are on the rear bumper, but mineral grey, it responds well. It's quite tough, it's quite resilient, it's also quite forgiving. That's the word. Just interrupting the footage quickly before we go into the following sequence. I just want to point out that yes, you can see my breath. It was a very cold, chilly afternoon, not recommended. The reason being, I'd run out of gas. I'd been missed off on the morning's gas delivery, sadly, so I had an afternoon all wrapped up. And also, where do you draw the line? That whole sort of mystery of a two-stage correction, a minor paint correction. What is enough? Obviously this is my car, but I treat every commission, every customer's car as if it were my own. And again, it's sort of like battling that, one more, just a bit more here and a bit more there. And yeah, I've hit this lower portion of the door. There was some deeper hedgerow stuff down there. Hit that 3 times with the cutting pads. And talking about the cutting pads, go with the old faithful Cartex 3000 diamond cut and the blue Lake Country HDO microfiber cutting pads. Not forgetting that we're using both the 5-inch, the 3-inch and the 1-inch, the nano polisher, to get into all of the intricate areas, the acute angles and corners, which you otherwise struggle to do so with just the one machine. If you do attempt it, you compromise in edges, which we don't want. Jody's like a melody in my head. There's very little need for refining here. Obviously it will have a refining pass, but it's very mild, very quick, very easy. Inside the door handles, that always comes up well. There's some bad finger scratches usually in there. The front doors with the PPF, there is PPF on the door that actually goes down into the finger cup there as well. So a bumper, and then the clusters, the inner clusters have been done. Look at the difference. Needs refining still as well. Must be about time for a cup of tea or coffee, so I'll smash that. Crack on with the rear bumper, sort the lenses, start the refining, alcohol wipe the body in readiness for Modesta's primer. At the same time, I'm sure there's some touch-ups to be done, some mineral grey paint touch-ups that need dealing with, which I'll do before the end of the day tonight, coatings tomorrow. So there we go. Two-stage paint correction to the exposed body panels, the roof, the rear quarters, the rear doors, the rear bumper tailgate, and the light clusters. And then additional PPF to the side skirts. And she looks fabulous. It's nice to have it all complete, ticked off, finalised, all done as one when it was left last time. It sort of felt a little bit unfinished. Finished with BCO4, ceramic paint protection, Modesta BCO4 for the paint and PPF, and then BCO6 for the rims and calipers. So thanks again for your time, thank you for watching if you've made it through this far. Be sure to find WhiteDetails over on Instagram for behind the scenes and updates. And just before we sign off, a quick shout out to Modesta. So Modesta, the coatings, you know them by now. Those that are an installer across the world, if you use Modesta yourself and you are attending Pluscon, the event in Japan happening mid-late March, I shall see you there. Looking forward to that very much. Otherwise, hope you are well, guys. Take care, stay safe. See you soon. Bye for now.